weekly episode of the Freelancer Codex podcast. Your host, Steven, and co-hosts Mike, Devon, and JD are all set. Join us and tweet your questions at Freelancer Codex. Find us on Facebook at Freelancer Codex, or send emails to freelancercodex@gmail.com. Strap into your javelins and let's drop in.
Welcome, freelancers. We are dropping in on episode 57 of the Freelancer Codex podcast, the longest running Anthem podcast on the internet. I am your host, Steve, along with my three co-hosts, Mike, Devon, and JD. And guys, I've been wondering about you guys. Like, are you guys like more cake guys or more pie guys this time of year? Because this is like pie time of year, but I don't like pies. I'd rather eat cake.
Well, for me, it all depends on the situation. So, because I grew up, when we eat cake, it has white special frosting. It's chocolate cake, and we eat it in a bowl with milk.
What? You do the whole bowl with milk thing? At that point, it's not even cake anymore.
That's like soup.
It's
Yeah.
delicious, is what it is.
It's like
I don't
dessert.
think you're pronouncing delicious right.
delicious.
Okay.
But
little bit.
I do like pie, pumpkin pie, pecan pie, apple pie, cherry pie. I like pie.
All the pies. Okay.
All the pies.
JD, do you prefer pie?
I don't really care for cake or pie. I get a lot of flack for that most of the time because I'm not really one for sweets. Like I hate cotton candy. I don't really care for most types of cake. I don't like cheesecake. Most types of pie. So if I have a dessert, it's usually ice cream.
Very cool. I think most parents also agree that they hate cotton candy because like little kids don't know how to eat cotton candy. They eat cotton candy like the best way to get it all over their face and all over their fingers so they're sticky for the rest of the day. So I as well hate cotton candy because kids don't know how to eat.
Have you guys seen the gif of the dude eating cotton candy in reverse?
I have.
It's actually
Yes.
It's actually pretty funny. If you haven't, please look it up now. Not if you're driving, but please look it up.
Not if
It's
you're driving or you're flying. Mike-
quite hilarious.
So then I'm guessing, Mike, that you're cake.
So no, actually, I will eat cake if the occasion permits, but I actually, I prefer, if I'm given the choice and it's an option, I prefer cheesecake. Cheesecake is good.
Very cool. I think everyone should try this. Like the next time you're gonna go like insult someone, just call them a cake eater. It's like one of the worst insults people have. Like they hate it. Call someone a cake eater, they get really defensive. Guys, this is episode 57 of the longest running Anthem podcast. We were not here last week. We had an interview set up with John. We were not able to complete it because I think he is actually working on a game. He's not just talking about it. So
Apparently, Mr. Warner is busy and he doesn't have time for us.
that might be it. I think he's a busy guy.
He's pretty busy working on, Anthem.
He's
Well,
busy.
and yeah.
So we have scheduled that he's going to join us 2 weeks from now when he has a hole in his schedule. I think he's going to take 1 day vacation just so he can talk to us. He's probably not going to do that. But we're going to have a chance
Take
to
the
talk to him
vacation
about it.
after, because then he has to recover from talking to us. Because I
Recover
hear it's
from-
unbearable.
It is. But did you know that we will know what this game is all about in 128 days because that's when Anthem launches. It'll also launch 121 days if you get the Origin Access Premiere. If you get that early, if you're on PC, you get to play a whole week early before everyone else on consoles do. And there's only 107 days left until the demo gets released, which is like leading up to this point, it always seemed like Anthem was like so far away, like 9 months, 10 months, like, man, this game's never going to be here. But we're like at the 4-month mark. 4-month mark, and the amount of information that we do know about Anthem, like to me, that's kind of like, we don't know a lot about this game that's going to be released in 4 months. And it seems like with a lot of things that are going on the Anthem website, that they might not know too much about what exactly is going to be in the game right now. It seems like a lot of details are
At least-
still up in the air.
I mean, that's the message they're portraying, basically, because they keep changing the information. So they're not sending a clear message.
Right. I guess we can jump into that right now because we are talking about that. So there's been a couple changes on the website. So first thing, we did get a little bit of information about the Interceptor. So I guess first of all, the main Twitter account has been tweeting out that, hey, look at the profile for this Javelin. But we got those. It was during the PAX panel. Was it the PAX panel or was it at
Yeah,
When
it
did they
was,
release?
it was right after the PAX panel when they uploaded like 20 things to the website.
Yeah, so they uploaded all this stuff to the website. They uploaded profiles for our ciphers. They uploaded profiles about progression, about our suits, about the other characters that we have. Then they uploaded profiles about each individual Javelin. And we actually talked about that. I think it was episode 53. So it's been a while ago. But now every time that they would retweet those things, I just assumed it was the same thing. So I never even clicked on them to go and read them. Because I was like, oh, we've already seen this. So there wasn't a lot there in the first place, but a lot of those things have been changed. So one of the new things that they have added on all the profiles, they're telling us what weapons each Javelin can use. So we'll talk about the Interceptor because I think that's one of the things that has changed the most. So it says each Javelin may have 2 weapons for their loadout and can change them along with the rest of their loadout between missions. The Interceptor Javelin is capable of wielding every weapon type except for heavy weapons, which can only be used by the Colossus. So we learned that we knew that the Colossus could use the heaviest weapons like the Gatling gun, the machine gun, I think they called it, and the other Javelins cannot. So the other Javelins can use pistols and SMGs, and the Colossal cannot use those weapons because its fingers are way too big to be able to pull the triggers of those. So that's the difference.
Can't make a bigger gun.
Can't make a bigger gun.
Yeah, just make a bigger trigger.
So, and then continuing on with the Interceptor thing, they say every Javelin has an innate melee ability which can be used to deal damage to targets at very close range. This ability does not need to be earned, nor can it be changed. So I guess this is something that we just have at the beginning of the game. You're able to melee, and that's something that we are not going to be able to swap yet. And that's one thing they've been stating a lot. It's like at launch, we're not going to be able to change this. In the future, it's very possible that we can. And it says that the Interceptor has something called double-bladed daggers. The Interceptor uses a pair of double-bladed daggers to deliver multi-hit flurry of slashes, dealing damage in a chain of powerful attacks that can be continued indefinitely. So that sounds kind of cool. I mean, this kind of sticks with the impression that this is a very fast Javelin. It's get in, get out, deal damage, and get out of the way. So we have seen concept art that the Interceptor does have a knife. It looks like some sort of energy knife of some sort. It doesn't look like it's in the concept art we have, it's like glowing green, like it's made out of shaper energy or something.
Yeah.
But here we've got double-bladed dagger. So, I mean, what do you guys think about this melee? Mainly the part that it can be continued indefinitely.
Aren't the daggers coming off the gauntlets of the Interceptor?
I don't know if those are the daggers. I don't think they are. I think those are.
You got your posters behind you, right?
I mean, like the blades coming off the forearm?
Yeah. Isn't that the daggers? And one goes forward and one goes back, so that can solve the double bladed piece of it.
But they're
And
not
since they're-
double-bladed, right?
Well, but maybe it's just one blade going forward, one blade going back, connected
says-
off of your forearm. So then you can just. You can't see me right now, but I'm like totally doing my awesome dual wielding. And
What's that sound
awesome.
again? All right. Okay.
I hate you all.
That
This is not a safe
one
place.
hypothesis.
This is not a safe place. I can't share anything.
You can share with us. I'm trying to pull up the picture because I don't have those pictures right behind me.
I'm looking at your Colossus right now.
Are you? Oh well, then I have to go get him. And
I know it's so tough.
I think they're
I
just
know.
coming off the forearms. I don't think those are the daggers. Right?
I think they are. I mean because it's an indefinite melee weapon, which means to me that I don't have to keep taking it out, putting it back in somewhere. I can just go with it, and it's connected. It's part of my suit. That's my hypothesis. You can scoff at it.
No, we can scoff at it. And we probably will. But I mean, we haven't seen like any type of sheath or any type of scabbard that the Interceptor has, unless I mean, you could be right. They could be right up in there in the arm, hiding in there somewhere, almost like a tracer style weapon, to where they flip out when they're needed.
Oh, I'll
But-
flip out.
Yeah, we'll flip out. But the only reason I think that it's an energy, we have seen the concept art that says it is an energy weapon of some
Oh.
sort.
We lost JD.
JD will probably be back. He's just like, I got to step out for a second. So, I mean, we don't know much other than there's double blades, but I mean, you would assume that there would be a place to put these things, and you could be right, Mike. They could be attached to to the arm as stabilizers when they're not needed. So
Well, I think everything we've seen, right, from the Interceptor was all. I mean, they basically just put everything in there just to show stuff for it. They hadn't really decided anything on it, right? I mean,
Right.
that's even from the stuff they made for the last videos that we had, where the animations and some of the stuff was from other characters. You know, I mean, the grenade that the Interceptor threw was not for the Interceptor. It was just, they needed something to put in there to show off the Interceptor. So, I don't know. Until they give us the actual information, I would trust nothing.
because at this point, I mean, they're giving.
You mean you won't trust Mike? That's what you mean.
No, I mean, your hypothesis is perfectly fine.
He meant
Don't
Mike.
trust it.
They're
Won't.
showing that, the information they're putting on the website right now honestly can't be trusted because they put it on there and then they take it off. And
Right.
so it's difficult. I mean, they want to share information, but, I don't know.
JD, you had a comment here on some knives that you were hoping to see in the game.
Well, yeah, especially considering that it's dual daggers and everything like that. The thought just occurred to me that perhaps it might be, I don't know if they might be reusing some of these from like any assets or animations from maybe the previous Dragon Age games, because dual daggers are like the go-to weapon of choice for most rogues in that game. And if at the very least, like if they are really good looking in terms of like the animations or the assets, and they are like wholly unique to Anthem, I wonder if they might be reused in future Dragon Age titles. Like I just, or likes to reuse sources from game to game, at least in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I know most studios, when they can, they'll do that to save time and to save money. But I mean, I would, most people that never played Dragon Age wouldn't even know, right? Until someone puts out a video and says, "Hey, these blades are from Dragon Age." But I don't know, maybe. I mean, I don't know if we'd ever be able to tell unless they're exactly the same models in there. But I would hope that they're doing whole new custom animations for these guys and their attacks, for everything. New models to be used, because at this point, how old is Dragon Age? Dragon Age is like a 27-year-old game, right?
No, about 10 years. About a little under 10 years.
Yeah.
10 years is a long time to be reusing assets.
I would say even if they reuse them, they would update the assets and remake them. And
Well, I would mean that they would probably be using the resources from Inquisition, which came out in, I believe, 2014 or 2015.
Even
like
then,
that.
it's not.
So they're not that old.
That's
but-
not 4K, high def stuff.
No, but if we're talking about the animations, like maybe like reusing like certain movements, like because they might have more detailed skeletons on their animations now, but like the basic movement they might have used as the basis.
Yeah, you never know.
It's possible. And then it goes on to say, with its lightning agility and powerful abilities, the Interceptor is able to turn overwhelming odds into certain victory. The Interceptor makes up for its scant armor as a true terror on the battlefield and an excellent addition to your Javelin arsenal. Learn more in our suit guides on the Ranger, Colossus, and Storm Javelin exosuits for being... Yeah, you can learn more there, but you don't know. Okay, so new information that dropped on to the Storm. So we learned about the fiery strike from the Storm. It says the Storm uses the seals on its arm to deliver an explosive flash that deals damage and knocks back enemies that have gotten too close, giving the Storm time to reposition at a safe. So one of the things that I was speculating on before when we were talking about the seals, a lot of people are saying like, oh, those things on its arm, those are actually the seals. And I'm like, no, that can't be the seals. That'd be weird, because then you'd have to have every piece of armor for the Storm to be able to have something like that. But it sounds like that's exactly what they are. Like those things on the arm are the seals, which I don't know. I guess that's cool. Not what my head can saying, but like, am I disappointed like that's the route they went? It's like, yeah, I guess, but I don't know, whatever. But so the fiery strike sounds like it doesn't. I don't think any Storm is going to want to go in and punch something on purpose. I think it's going to be, hey, I'm kind of in a tight spot because I'm a glass cannon. I need to leave, save the melee attack until you can push people away. But That was kind of my thought when I was reading Fiery Strike. Do you guys have any indication of what, this thing is supposed to be used for, or if it's going to be overpowered at all?
I think, yeah, I mean, it could be definitely used, like you said, in emergency situations. But, I don't know. I mean, it sounds like something that I would do because, I play dumb sometimes. So.
You. But then again, okay, Fiery Strike here now. Is Fiery Strike going to be there next week?
That's the tricky question. I mean, once you start taking stuff off and on, I mean, it's hard. Like I said, they're trying to give us information, but at the same time, I don't know. I mean, they're in alpha, right? So, I mean, stuff should be getting locked in and shouldn't really be changing. They should be just doing bug fixing. And so, I don't know. It's, I mean, they're the ones that have the experience, We just have our own expectations of what we want. And, gamers, when things aren't meeting our expectations, we let people know, right?
True. And we let people know without holding anything back. So 2 of the things that have lost off of these Javelin, off of the profile. So the Ranger used to have muster point. That was the ability to where they can put down a little AoE to improve cooldowns or something like that. That's actually been removed off the page. So they're not talking about anything right there, because I think muster point was actually going to be one of those third passive ability slots that you're able to change out. So that's off the Ranger. Maybe they're going to give that to another Javelin. Maybe they're going to give it to the Storm or something. But that's off the Ranger. The Colossus, we have actually seen its ultimate in action when it was attacked in the Swarm Tyrant from EA Play. But that's been removed. So I think, I forget what the ultimate was called. It was called Siege Cannon. So Siege Cannon, the description on that was the Colossus's ultimate ability. The Siege Cannon is pure mayhem, unleashed on the battlefield. Just aim it at something you want to disappear, pull the trigger, and watch the magic act. So that's gone now. And we've actually seen that in action. So I'm kind of surprised that we've actually seen an ability, and now that thing's gone. I mean, we never saw muster point. We never saw what it does or how it looks. Yeah. But, to take the ultimate ability, which sounds like kind of a big deal, maybe they're retooling it. Maybe they're not going to call it Siege Cannon or whatever. Maybe it's going to be called something different. Yeah. But even then, it's like, I would think you would still leave that information up there. But Mike, you're going to have to talk us down off the ledge here. So, we're being kind of like pretty negative things that are happening.
So yeah, you guys, I mean, so just looking and giving everybody the benefit of the doubt, right? Maybe it's just some website maintenance that's going on that has lost that tagline. Maybe the Siege Cannon really isn't gone. It's just gone from the website, if that makes sense. And then once they listen to our episode and realize that it's gone, they'll go back and fix it and go, oh, we deleted that by accident. We'll put it back up because we did other changes somewhere, and everything's fine. Have some cake.
I think that would be nice, but Mark Jarrett actually confirmed that they removed that stuff. So it's like,
well, he confirmed that he removed it from the website, or confirmed that it was removed from Anthem, from the game.
Confirmed that it was removed off the website, and that they said that yes, it had been taken down off the website on purpose. So it was. I don't think it was an accident.
Okay, so maybe then it was just taken down on purpose. That doesn't mean that it's it's out of the game, off the Colossus. It just means it's off the website. Again, I mean, don't like I think that's one of. I mean, just don't read too much into things. Like we saw it.
Let me have this, Michael.
I can't. I have to talk you off the ledge. And like, there's stuff to live for. I mean, there's Ash Titans and Swarm bugs and.
Are those going to be in the final game?
Things. Yes, they will. You watch your mouth.
They might not be. We don't know yet. Devon, take us to a little lighter place. Ben Irving's been posting kitchen pictures, and I have no idea what's happening and why all of a sudden kitchens are trending.
Yeah, over on our Discord, you should go there if you haven't. Everyone's welcome, by the way.
Not everyone. Yeah,
everyone is welcome.
Everyone's welcome.
We were chatting about, how we like the fact that the devs are posting more pictures of just general things like, oh, here's so-and-so working on this or doing this or that. And I said, I mean, we appreciate all the pictures and we love it. And I was like, I mean, but to be honest, we would love it if, even if you posted pictures of a kitchen at the studio. And so the next day, Ben Irving posted that on Twitter, and he's like, someone, he didn't want to mention me by name, of course, 'cause, he didn't want to bring the angry mob in my direction. No,
that will happen.
But
To reach Devon, you can tweet him at Neverfear. You can find him on Facebook.
Feel free. So, so he posted on there, and then he went up to Edmonton and posted their awesome kitchens. Both those kitchens, all the pictures that he showed were amazing. And Steven found something in those kitchens that he despises, and I'll let him tell you about it.
Like no one, like all the pictures, because it's almost like a hotel kitchen where you got the cereal dispensers. You can go up there and you get the cereal you want, except the Raisin Bran, because no one likes Raisin Bran, and apparently BioWare, they don't like Raisin Bran either, because that thing's always full. And Ben's like, nah, maybe they just refilled it. It's like, oh, you guys don't like Raisin Bran. Just don't buy the Raisin Bran if you're not going to eat the Raisin Bran. Come on, guys. Be efficient.
Like Raisin Bran.
No, you don't.
I just don't like what it does to me after I eat it.
I don't think this is that kind of show.
Might be. It is now, I guess. So
I don't think this is that. So wait a second. So
okay, what are we waiting on?
well, that's the Edmonton studio kitchen?
That's
Yeah,
one of them,
one of
Michael.
them.
Oh,
One
that's
of them?
the third floor. They have 5 floors.
We're
They might
waiting
have.
for Ben to post more pictures.
That's the third floor kitchen?
So apparently, in the
My
third floor,
goodness.
you need 4 refrigerators. Nice, stainless steel Frigidaire refrigerators, model number WDM0392. So you
Why
need
would
it.
a-
So
That's funny.
anyway,
I like
So
the
Well,
Austin
we
one
appreciate
with
those
all
pictures.
the snacks and everything in there. I was like, oh, that's
and these are the kind of things that I'm glad that they're tweeting these out. They've shown a lot of pictures of other developers that are actually working on the games. Showing the faces of the people behind the scenes that we haven't heard of on Twitter at all. People that are just head down, getting the game done, working on the game. I mean, that's the kind of thing that we want to see. I would love to see more gameplay. I would love to see more information about the game itself. But if we're not going to get that for whatever reason, then yeah, show me what people are doing in the game to keep me interested, to keep other people interested in it, to keep people talking about you've got 4 months until this game comes out, and there's still people asking Mark that still don't know, it's available to purchase on a PlayStation 4. There's not a lot of information out right now, unfortunately, unless you go to the right places, unless you go to the Anthem Reddit. There's a lot of people on there, but not everyone's on there. I mean, if there's 300,000 people on the Anthem Reddit, that's great that you make those sales, but that's not going to, put your game into the black. 300 sales is not going to do
There's
that.
only 30,000 on there. So
Yeah, well,
but
there you go.
I mean, like right now would be a perfect time to do a Vidoc, right? To go behind the scenes, show us stuff, what's going on. It keeps people excited, I mean, there's other studios like Avalanche Studios is making, Just Cause 4. They have, like 6 months ago, started posting Vidocs about making the Vidocs for the game that are going to be coming out. It's like, oh, it's behind the scenes from their community manager. There's like a little Facebook video or a little video like, oh, look, we got all the people together. We're going to film over here in the New York studio. We're talking to these people, and then we're going to show you these Vidocs a little later. So just giving you a little tease of what's coming out. I mean, that's the perfect way of keeping people excited about the product that you're making without actually having to show off the product, right? So, I mean, they're still working on stuff. They're not sharing information, but the perfect way is just to, like, walk behind the scenes. I mean, Rare did it a bunch of times with Sea of Thieves, where they would just wander around and talk to developers. Oh, what are you doing today? Well, I'm working on this bug, or I'm working on this. And that was really cool, because you get to see and almost feel like you're part of that experience, or at least to see what they're going through. And I love seeing
And
that
that's
stuff.
a good example, because they had a very open development. I mean, they had people playing alpha for a year.
Mm-hmm.
They could go in and they could talk about it and they could tell their stories. It wasn't really under any, which is, it's a different way of developing your game. It's a different way of marketing the game. You get people interested in the beginning, but I mean, you're right. They did try. They sent out. We got the soundtrack Valor. We got that a while ago that we're able to listen to, which was awesome. It's a great track, and we got to hear more of that. But maybe show us what else the team is doing. We got the interview with Nick Terabay. We got the thing from PAX, and that's all a lot of great information. but I still think that there's not enough for how close we are to the game actually releasing. So, I mean, what do you guys want to see now? You guys want to see Vidox? Mike, what do you want to see?
I could stand to see some just advertisement. And I'm thinking we're probably going to see that around the holidays. It seems like that's when the games will start to be once we get into the Thanksgiving season. I mean, we'll start seeing the Anthem trailer, I'm assuming. There's definitely stuff. I think I don't know if it's because I've been watching the videos so much, but I thought one popped up on my YouTube feed when I was looking at something else. I thought a commercial popped up for it, but maybe it was just maybe I'm just remembering just watching the trailer again. It'd be cool to see the Vidox would be cool. I'm kind of interested in maybe character bios. Maybe they tweet out some of the more non-essential story characters. Maybe even just something a little bit about them. I mean that could be cool. Kind of know, because I have a hard time remembering characters in games, and so maybe a little baseball card that has their name on it, and I can hold it up. I can just hold it up. I'm not starved for info like some other people I know. So I mean I'll take what they give, and I'm okay with that. There's a little bit to be said about the mystery of it, and I think really they're doing a great job at getting Steven primed and ready for it by not telling him enough. He's just getting so hyped and angry that he's gonna jump in and play week 1, day 1, and have it all done.
I'll be playing week -1, but I think you have a good point, Mike, because there's if you look at Rockstar, what they're doing with Red Dead Redemption, they could not say a single word, and they would still sell millions of copies of that game, right?
Oh yeah.
But they have the benefit also of having a little bit of, I mean, and BioWare does that. They released a lot of games, but this is the first game, so they don't really have that that power right now to not say a bunch. But
don't they?
But they do, because it's BioWare. But so I see where they have that. But
remember, just saying it's BioWare doesn't really affect 75% of us here, because this will be our first BioWare endeavor. We just like robots that shoot stuff and blow things up.
Yeah,
and so
you also have to take into account though that with a lot of the media coverage of Anthem thus far, I'm not talking about us or other members of the Anthem content creator community, but think bigger sites like IGN, Kotaku, Polygon, the bigger gaming news sites, they cannot go a single Anthem article without mentioning the uphill battle that the way how they describe it, an uphill battle that Anthem is fighting because it's BioWare and Mass Effect Andromeda wasn't very successful.
EA.
And there was controversial, and then there's also the EA thing with Star Wars Battlefront 2 and the loot boxes controversies.
And they're Canadian.
Yeah, they basically view Anthem, or they cover Anthem through this lens of it's a controversial game already, and so I do feel like there is a little bit of caution on BioWare's side in terms of what they put out and when they put it out, because even if the rest of us aren't covering it that way, the larger sites kind of are depicting it as this uphill battle that it's not a neutral thing. It's Anthem has to prove itself to us
because they have all that BioWare baggage.
Devon, stop dusting off your desk.
No, I will not.
Check your baggage at the door. Well, that's a good point. I mean, that's a good way to look at it. And so they're keeping everything close to the chest so that they do. Well, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, you don't want stuff to leak to then get attacked, and you don't, because you want the right stuff to get out so that it's kind of proven your product is good. I mean, we've been impressed with everything that we've seen, and so.
Yeah, and that hasn't stopped. Some people anytime there's new information about Anthem, that there's 2 or 3 videos that pop up on the Anthem subreddit or somewhere else, basically saying more evidence that Anthem is going to fail. and it's just like, okay.
Well, yeah, but that's all clickbait. So
Yeah, it's all clickbait. I mean, some of it's just done for the media attention or to like give an interesting take, but we're liking what we've seen thus far. And honestly, seeing all this stuff, like the kitchen pictures from the devs, like the dev interactions on Reddit, on Twitter, and on everything, it really humanizes them as a group, makes them seem more friendly to their community. And, you know, honestly, I just want to see more of that.
I just want to see the kitchen in Anthem. Maybe
didn't we see it? We saw it in the when they were talking about the seedy underbelly of
a piece of
Fort
meat
Tarsus.
on
I
a
don't
rock.
think that was meat.
So
anyway,
Mark Derrick still on Twitter, and he's still answering people's questions. Like the Saint of a Man, the poor guy. Like someone was trying to ask him if there was going to be an Xbox One edition, like, you know, got the sticker, it comes with the controller, whatever. And I think Mark thought that they were asking if there was going to be like some enhancement. So Mark's like, yeah, there's going to be that. So everyone's like, what? There's going to be an Xbox One X edition of this game? That's awesome. Someone's like, hey, Mark, I don't think they were saying that. And he's like, oh. So, I mean, you answer so many questions. Eventually, you know, it's not like that big of a deal that he said that, because you just walk it back and say, sorry, that's not it. But, you know, that doesn't stop the internet from being the internet, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, the guy's out there answering tons of questions. So, last couple questions, he said, in addition to your 2 guns, you have 3 gear slots. Multi-mortar goes in the shoulder, flamethrower in the arm, so you can equip both at one time. And then there's that 3rd passive slot that we don't know much about. That was part of that muster point, but that thing's been taken away. So as we talk about these gear slots, one of the things we talked about previously is like how much armor we're actually going to have in this game, or what armor slots we're going to be able to equip in this game. So, and as far as we know, there's not a traditional armor. Like, there'll be people that'll tell you on a couple places that there's no armor in this game, but you know, you just got to remind people that we're flying around in these giant metal suits. So it's like, yeah, there's armor in this game. It might not be in the traditional sense of an RPG, to where you're equipping a chest piece or you're equipping, you know, some bracers or boots or whatever. But Ben Irving has gone on and said that there are going to be quote unquote power slots that are going to be affecting your character. And I think those are kind of the things that we're going to be putting into our Javelin to increase, you know, whatever those durability stats are going to be. Because we do know our pilot has its own skill tree, and then each individual Javelin is going to have its own skill tree. So I think these power slots, they've also been called components. If you go on the website under the Javelin progression section, it says this, and I don't remember if this is new or not, because I didn't actually copy this part down the first time that it was posted. So this could be completely different, or this could be completely old, or it could be, I don't know, whatever. But it says, as Javelin progression, as your pilot gains experience operating a specific Javelin, you'll collect lots of equipment of differing abilities and rarity. You might want to equip components to reduce the cooldown of your Ranger's grenade attack and dish out even more damage in the field. As an example, each Javelin, Ranger, Colossus, Interceptor, and Storm all have their own unique equipment which can be collected. Your loadout choice will allow you to tailor your Javelin's abilities to your playstyle and discover different playstyles you may not have considered. So I think we know that the Ranger, that specific gear slot is a grenade. I think the Colossus has the mortar. We don't know what the Interceptor has. Maybe, because I don't think it's going to be the blades, because that's going to be its melee attack. So we don't know what the Interceptor has. I think the Storm's probably just going to have the seals on its arm. That's going to be its kind of unique weapon that we've seen in action. But I think when they talk about components, you know, they use the word component. You might want to equip components to reduce the cooldown. Those might be those extra things like those power slots Ben was talking about that we're going to be putting into our Javelin.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's true. We don't have like consistent or information on that. Usually, you know, other developers, when they write up these things, they'll put those, you know, specific keywords like in bold so that we know like, oh, these things are called components or they're called power slots. But really, I really want to know how many of these things we can equip, because that's going to make a big difference on how long you can actually play the game. Like, how many of these things are we going to be going for? Is it just 2 slots for a total of, you know, 6 slots that we're going to be trying to equip on these things?
There are tiers, you know, can you upgrade them? Can you infuse them? I mean, we don't know anything about the infusion system that Mike Gamble talked about, you know, but that's not a credible source of information.
So, I mean, so there's still like so much that we don't know. I mean, and this would be those kind of things, and this would be the place where you would want to put that information. It's like, hey guys, these are the components. There's going to be 7 different components per Javelin that you can upgrade. You know, these are the weapons or the items that only the Storm will have. These are the items that only the Colossal will have, because we know the Colossus is the only one that's going to have the shield, but we don't know if that's like its specific thing or if the shield is even something that you can upgrade or not. So, what do you guys think? Like, what's the number of things that we should expect to have in order to keep, you know, the game going strong for you guys over a longer period of time?
5.
We talked about this before, right? So, I mean...
Yeah, and that's when we assumed that you could actually change the chess piece. Yeah. And now it seems like, you know, those changes are going to be purely cosmetic.
So, I mean, you have active and passive, right? So, I don't know. I mean, 6 to 8, I would say, maybe. You know, I mean, I need at least, you know, like if you're looking at games like Diablo or other similar type games where there's multiple pieces to chase, multiple things to work on, to min-max, you know, they're looking at around 10 items. And, you know, the less items you have, the less time you need to min-max, the less time you need to keep playing to grind for that other gear or whatever they're going to call it. And so, I mean, because what you're looking at, the Javelin suit, is all cosmetic. It doesn't do anything. So
correct. Well,
besides the weapons and the stuff that you can equip in those slots, right? So,
right, which essentially is the suit doing it. If there's lots that,
but it's not like, you know, Destiny where it's like, oh, I got these boots and they do this specific thing. Because in Anthem, you can get those boots, but all they are is just that's the way they look. They don't do anything.
Right. It'll just be a receptacle for whatever that component is. I mean, it doesn't, and which is fine because that means no matter what, you can look the way you want to look.
Yeah.
Which is a benefit to that system. There's no like, well, this is better. I guess I'll wear it for now until I find something good or until you can transmorg it. So, I mean, which I like the system to where it's like, no, I want to look like this all the time and I'll change it when I want to change it. And then you can input those components into your suit as you need them, which is fine. But I mean, it's different. So we'll have to see how it works out. If that's even, you know, still in the game. We don't know if that's still in the game. But
yeah, I mean, hopefully soon they'll give us stuff. I mean, you know, November 7th is coming up soon, but that doesn't really have anything to do with Anthem, but you never know.
Yeah. And then Mark has also said that the ultimate and melee slots are technically gear slots, but they're not changeable at launch, but probably after. So that's something that, you know, in the future, if we get those extra 2 slots, that gives us extra abilities on those weapons, however that plays out. And he has said that, you know, he thinks that at the uncommon gear point, that's when weapons and other things start getting perked. So, I mean, for me, when they say gear, I just encompass, you know, weapons, armor, and everything. But I think when they say gear, they're just talking about weapons, you know, those other slots that they have. I don't even know if they're talking about weapons or if they're just talking about those.
Yeah, I mean, they have their own definitions, and we're all we can do right now is speculate on what they actually mean until they actually tell us, you know, so.
And then one thing that would be super helpful when we find out about this is having some way to track all this stuff, even when you're not playing games. Right, Mike?
I do like tracking my stuff when I'm not playing games because I don't take my Xbox with me all the time. And sometimes I've got some downtime at work where for one reason or another, I might want to read up on a piece of gear or equip some new items or even just look at my character. We all like doing that and just looking and checking and stuff. So I think I hope that there's going to be a mobile app / inventory manager / lore reader / cutscene watcher to kind of, keep Anthem. Yeah, the cutscenes that I've unlocked, I'd like to go watch those again. Just to keep Anthem close at my fingertips when I'm away from my computer and or my Xbox. So,
Mike, you're a genius. I never even considered that would be something that you could do from an app. Like, oh yeah, that seems super simple. It's like if you unlock the video, you watch it in the app.
Yeah.
Right. So for a game that's going to be story based, like JD is hoping, because JD likes stories from BioWare, I hear. to be able to access that stuff in the app, that seems like, that would be, because at first you're like, oh, I want to hear the lore from the app. It's like, well, we had that in Destiny, but no one liked that because that was the only place that you get it, right?
Yeah.
Well,
But
and I think in that instance, it's the way it was presented. Go to this menu, click this menu, now find this sub menu, now flip this card over and read this obscure, like that wasn't the best system. So I think they had good intentions, but it just wasn't presented well. But I think there's a great opportunity here to I'll let you go ahead and finish your thought because you were going somewhere.
No, you're fine. I mean, that completely changed my mind. That's like, yeah, we need to have something like that in the app. Like, hey, what happened during this mission that I completed? I forget, who I was supposed to talk to. If you can go back and just like play that cutscene, I think that'd be a great idea. But
Well, and then like, sorry not to interrupt again, but some of those cutscenes that we've seen in some games, and I'm hoping in this one, are like mini movie-esque and just super cool to watch.
Yeah.
So like, let me watch it. Like there's nothing there should be nothing stopping me from watching this on my phone when I'm on the subway, when I'm on a plane, when I'm riding shotgun somewhere. Let me watch this again because A, it's entertaining, and B, it's something I did. I unlocked this. I completed said steps to make it to this end. Let me watch it again.
I think it'd be an easy and good way for you to be able to share Anthem with your friends. It's like, oh man, check out this cutscene I saw last night when I played through this mission. You really need to get this, and you can show them your videos, show them what you got, what you're working with. For me, really, the companion app, I want it to do, I want to be able to set up all my gear, everything, create my loadouts, whatever you want to call them, for the game, so I can look at those. I want them to show me, stats and information, so I can actually see what's different. And, I would love it if there was like a comparison. It's like, okay, here's what you currently have equipped, and here's what you want to equip. And this is where it's going to go better, and this is where it's going to be worse. So I can really min-max it and go the best way I want, and make it my own.
You basically want everyone that plays this game to like lose their jobs because they're taking like hour-long bathroom breaks.
No.
Character.
No, so I think it would be great if they had those options. I don't know that they're going to have those at launch. That's a lot of stuff to put in there, but it would be, to me, that's something that I would love to have, to be able to check that out when I'm just sitting somewhere and I got time on my hands. If I'm just waiting for someone or doing whatever, I can check out my stuff real quick. I just, maybe they have a website where you can go to also where it's like, okay, check out all this gear that you can get in the game, similar to what's in for like Diablo and other things where, okay, here you can equip all the stuff and shows you what it does. So you can kind of say, okay, this is what I'm going to shoot for. Because those are always great to have gear guides and be like, okay, this is the best stuff. This is what you want. But, I don't know. It all depends on how the game plays and which direction they take some of the things, because maybe you create your own custom combos and everything, and it's much better than just looking at specific pieces of gear that everybody has to have, and this is the top build or whatever. I'm sure there's still going to be that stuff, but
I'd also like the ability to create loadouts. For my Colossus, this is my ultimate tank, and then maybe here's my more ranged tank. I don't know if that's going to be a thing in the Colossus, but same with the Ranger. Here's like my sniper build out. Here's my I don't know what else. I guess a tank. You could use a Ranger in a tank mode, and the ability to like name those loadouts. These are the gears. I'm assuming there's going to be some type of vault, some type of gear storage. The Strider, I don't know how much it can hold, but I'm assuming it's going to be able to hold different gear pieces in there. So I want to be able to, like, from the app, even in game, I guess we were told that we would have to go back to the Strider to change. Well, unless that's something that's introduced in the app later on, to be able to, okay, I'm halfway through a mission. I need to change. Here's my app. I get sent the gear. I don't know. I mean, they would have to make that work in the world.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how that would work. You don't just want it to just switch on.
Just Iron Man it.
Exactly. Exactly. You don't want to have it that way. But
because you can't have microchips.
But maybe when I'm home or when I'm away, I want to be able to change these loadouts and change my shaders and my cosmetic stuff and play the game without having to be in front of a console and or a PC. I mean, it's a way to do it.
Pretty soon with cloud gaming, you'll be able to do that. But a couple things that it does need for sure, it needs to have a calendar for your guild. If you're signed up for a guild, there needs to be a calendar. It's like, hey, you can put in when you're going to play, when your guild's going to play, when you're going to go for that completion on, the strongholds or whatever. So you got to have that. You got to be able to see the cosmetic store that you can try on, what does this look like on my Javelin? You have to be able to have that. You have to be able to look for like all the emotes and stuff. You have to be able to preview those because, the big reason that we play this game is to play with a virtual doll and to dress it up in the cool things that we get. So you have to be able to see that in the app. Basically, that's what video games are, and that's what we're going to do.
Steve has a weird way of really taking things down to their minimal level and like make us realize that I guess we really are just playing with dolls.
Yeah, we really are.
Action figures, not dolls.
Action figures, yes. Thank you, Devon.
Sure, tomato. So we need to dress up those things with capes, change their hairstyle and stuff like that.
12-inch G.I. Joe was a doll. Sorry.
Yeah, it really was.
12-inch G.I. Joe was a doll.
Those are the things that, we should have in an app to make it, a useful tool. Otherwise, it's like, if you're going to make it the best that it can be. Iterate on it, do it, whatever, but give us the basic functionalities that we really want. Because being able to communicate with your clan, however that's going to look in this game, is like a huge deal. Like, instead of me, going to go create some other website and go on some other website, just communicate with the people I play with anyway. I mean, you can do that with Discord, but, Discord doesn't have a calendar, so... and then it's got to have a weather app. Tell me what the weather is like in Anthem. Give us, those notifications that when there's a huge world event that's happening.
World event going on.
Yeah,
world event it's happening, how long it's going to be there, and that kind of stuff. So I think that kind of stuff in an app would be awesome. I mean, I would love that. If you can spend more time in Anthem when you're not playing Anthem, like Mike said, I think that's the goal of the developer because, I don't know, maybe you're able to spend some money in there to buy those cosmetics. Maybe you get a discount if you're going through the app. Who knows?
Maps. I definitely want maps in the app. Maps of the area so I can... I mean, and it must just be me, but I have a hard time putting worlds in my head. Like I have the hardest time keeping maps in my head. So a map on my phone would definitely be helpful. If just to learn about the world.
If you could have a world map and you could put annotations on it, that would
and checkpoints and drop pins. I'm telling you, man, it's there. We have the technology. We can build them better.
JD,
who were you saying?
Michael, shut up.
Even just the opportunity to be at work or be somewhere else and kind of start planning your what you're going to do when you get home and turn on Anthem is that would be so great. This event's going on, for the next couple of hours. I can hit that as soon as I get home. Oh, let me see this map. Oh, I wanted to check out this thing today. I want to check out this thing today. Let me put some pins here so I remember. So when I pop in the game, they're already up there. That would be so much fun. Look, because then you're not just spending 5 minutes as soon as you log on, just what am I going to do today? It's no, I already did that earlier when I couldn't play. Now you just play.
Yep, a little bit of planning goes a long way.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool if you could do your loadouts, and then it's okay, I created a bunch of loadouts, and then you could go to your Strider or Fort Tarsus and be all right, let me check out this loadout I made today. I'm gonna go test out the loadout and see if it's any good.
Yep.
So, because when you have time and you're thinking about those things, and then it's oh crap, I can't remember what I was gonna try earlier, and then but if you can make it on your phone, on your app or whatever, and then just have it saved there, and then you can let me go try that. That'd be cool.
I agree. Guys, I think if there's nothing else, if you guys have been holding back something until the end of the show, now's the time to get it out. If not, I think that's where we're going to end it because, it's getting pretty late. And this has been episode 57 of the Freelancer Codex podcast, the longest running Anthem podcast on the internet, which is pretty surprising. We're glad we're back from the break that we took last week. I needed a break, so I called it after our interview fell through. So that's all my fault. If you were expecting us to be there, you can blame it on me. So until next time, guys, there's a Shaper Storm on the horizon. We'll see you on the other side.
Peace.
Later.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening. You can find us on Twitter at Freelancer Codex, on
Can
Facebook
you?
at Freelancer Codex, or through email at freelancercodex@gmail.com. Join the Discord through the link provided at freelancercodex.com. Our show will always be free, but if you'd like to send some support, you may do so at patreon.com/freelancercodex. Our individual Twitter handles are at Steven Lamson, at mlamson25, at Neverfear, and at JD the Joke Dealer. Freelancers, it's time to get to work.